Good day, viewers. Today I am going to be presenting on the topic unconscious biasedness, which is my task 3 for the module SSOC 206. We are going to begin by the definition of the term unconsciousness. Unconsciousness is a state in which a living individual exhibits a complete or near complete inability to maintain awareness of self and environment. It is also defined as the inability to respond to stimuli and makes the individual appear to be as one who is asleep. In other words, it is someone lacking the awareness either inter or intrapersonally. The next term we're going to be discussing or defining is the term bias or biasedness. A bias is a tendency, inclination, or prejudice toward or against something or someone. Some biases are positive and helpful, whilst some are negative and detrimental. Bias is usually based on a person's opinion, and that opinion is usually incorrect, and sometimes this is beneficial, but mostly it is detrimental. Moving on to the discussion. Unconscious bias is simply our unintended people preferences. They are formed by socialization, personal experiences, and representation of different groups in the media. These experiences act as social filters in which we make judgments of people around us. Research tells us that human beings have a natural tendency to place individuals into social categories. These categories are often based on visual cues such as gender, age, cultural background, height, or body size. We also categorize based on social background, religious identity, or political affiliation. The unconscious brain uses associations based on categories to develop biases by differentiating between people who are similar to us and people who are different from us. Understanding your biases and assumptions is crucial to clear thinking and scientific literacy. All of us, no matter our education, intellectual commitment, or good intentions, are susceptible to bias. So, the precedence of being biased unawares is not something new. In fact, it is quite common, and as human beings, we are all susceptible to it, as we all experience things like visual cues, which does become the social filters. And since there is so much difference between us as human beings and our personal preferences, therefore the scales of unconscious biasness and the truth are quite large. It is hard to identify immediately if unaware of the situation. So if one is ignorant on the topic or ignorant on the truth, bias is most likely to be prevalent in the situation. In the workspace, positive bias is beneficial in the sense that all staff members are in one accord and agreement with each other. Therefore, there is little to no interference in working. However, negative bias gets in the way of collaboration, performance, and decision making. What this means is that when people are in one accord and in one understanding, even though their root belief is not correct, they have a stronger bond and they work more efficiently together as a team. However, in the presence of negative bias, which negatively influences co-workers, there may be problems such as conflicts and verbal feuds, which can cause tension in the workspace and thus a decrease in performance in all the employees altogether. Bad bias is not inevitable though. Ways to reduce it in the workplace include using shared vocabulary, creating a norm to respond to the bias, and committing to bias disruption. This helps raise awareness, which is the opposite of unconsciousness and bias. If members of the same workplace are taught to use the same words and taught